rage on that beat, going crazy.
Hello, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Freaky Friday over here. Markets are still consolidating. We're still stuck in this overall gulag over here, as you guys can see, since yesterday. Actually pretty much the whole week here. Since Tuesday, Monday, we had like a really big dump. But for the most part, just been kind of like, we got this, you know, not such a nice looking PA over there. Wait, let me see what's going on. Zoom in. Yeah, we've pretty much just been ranging since we got like this dump here. On the daily time frame, however, we're kind of like waiting. I think there were some closed door meetings happening yesterday with Trump, if not mistaken, in Geneva, where they were trying to come with some kind of a solution here for the situation in Iran. But there's a much more stronger possibility that price is still going to be moving up. That they're not going to come to any deal. So there's a pretty good chance by next week we will see some strikes and price on gold will start moving up. So I think right now that's just what it's all kind of like waiting for over here. As you can see, it's just waiting for a little bit more word on the direction that we're going to be going. Although you can see that price, we're already sort of pricing it in with these two big moves right above this resistance here by 50.97. 50.97. So we'll see. It's interesting. Freaky Friday here is already consolidating, already getting kind of freaky. Like this whole week has been weird, you know. But it's just anticipation. You see, that's the thing about markets. Is like whenever there's anticipation for something, usually the market's also gonna feel it, right? They're gonna feel it. They're gonna act in a certain way. So yeah, we've been trying to like trade anyway. Trade through the trenches. For me, I feel like you just have to be cautious. If you gotta take like a lot of bad trades, and if your month is not so good, then you're gonna be a little bit more cautious with the amount of trades that you're gonna be executing on. So took a trade this morning as well, lost about 2.44%. But yesterday's trades were able to make back some of these losses over here. So we'll see again. We'll see what the next trade is gonna look like. It's Freaky Friday. I'm not totally opposed to taking one more last trade for February over here to wrap off the month. February gains are sitting at about 50%, so I think it's pretty decent. So I don't mind giving another shot because the trades are playing out. The funny thing is trades are playing out. They just keep like whiplashing beforehand. So I got Kevja over here. I gave it a second chance too. Yeah, this is the one that was really annoying over here. It was supposed to it came down to fill that range. Eventually it's completely melted. Look at that, completely melted. Maybe I think the best thing to do would be to had waited for, there was another break that came in later. Maybe I'd have waited for like that much further on break. But even that one, I was watching it break and it looked like it didn't want to. Yeah, that's a pretty good move right here. Break of the wick. There's another one I think slightly a bit earlier than that. I'm not sure. Might have been this one as well. I'm not sure, but I was watching one break out, and it looked like it wanted to give them a hard time as well. I'm like, geez, Goldie, like just fill the goddamn range. Like, how many times are you gonna try and pull back on these sellers? You know what I mean? But that's kind of like the situation. But yeah, I think this was pretty clean. That was the overall idea over here. That price was gonna come down to correct that move. Didn't go without a fight though. Did not go without a fight. Yeah, right now it is kind of like hovering sideways a little bit. Probably getting ready for the next thing. Day 3W. Oh, nice. Day 3W got 23 pips. Very good, very good. Morning, good morning. The leap. Oh, crypto edition has just started. Oh, there's a leap for cryptos now. Interesting. Crypto edition. That's a paper trading competition. New update on TradingView. If you hold down the left key button, you're gonna get this window over here. It shows you like candle high, candle low, closing price, the change that it made on the daily. This push here did 0.03%. This one here did 0.07%. Yeah, so we got the Asia highs right here. Got Asia high, we got Asia low, and this is the region that we're holding. This is where we are currently sitting at. The range here is roughly 342 pips. Nice little clean range that's been made there on the 30-minute. I do like that. Clean traffic. 15 minutes also looking good. Because if you're at the bottom of the range, then right now it makes sense that price would reject this area with entry confirmations to come and retest back at the bottom there. I mean, back at the top there. So you get through the resistance by 51.80. 51.80, and I think there's a breakout there. And some, yeah, I think it looked like a bit of a breakout situation that it's conjuring up here. potential breakout, and if it breaks out, that whole area is going to be like very nice for it to correct, to start moving up towards. And it is the bottom of the range. Daily candlestick is like a doji still. See where the daily flip is. Daily candlestick is like a doji. You can see how price is just holding in between daily support down here and resistance, as we're kind of like more or less like anticipating some kind of volume in the next week. Yeah, once that first missile there launches, Goldie is going to fly. I think there's like escalations in Pakistan and Afghanistan. That's currently happening. I think I saw some headline about that, and yeah, it looks like, you know, tension is just right around the corner here. Tension that's gonna be moving price of gold spot soon. So let's see what has NQ been doing. Let's see what the NQ traders here have been dealing with. Let's go on the US 100 and see. It's more or less the same thing, I would imagine, but they got pretty nice swings yesterday. To the downside, see a lot of selling pressure came in. Oh, this was actually, yeah, that was yesterday. That was a New York session open candle. That's NY volume. Yeah, it looks like NY session here on the 4 hour. You could kind of see NY opens have quite a bit of volume in them. Right at that NY open. But NQ has this massive sell-off. It has a potential to correct some of that range. But let's see on the daily time frame. Daily is currently bullish. Daily is also looking a bit compressed on NQ, to be fair. You notice here a little bit of barcoding. Price tried to attempt to break above this area to fill that range, but it faked back into this overall zone. Right, little accumulation breakout, and then back into the accumulation, retesting the accumulation over there. That was a high volume area. You can see if it can pull up over there on the intraday time frames, as there is also clean range to move up. So I think like NQ would be looking for some kind of confirmations above this resistance over here by 25.040, and price to come up to retest this, attempt to retest that high. But nice swings, really good swings. Like at least it's opening up. It's not like Goldie where it's kind of like ranging a lot. This is definitely swinging and opening up, creating opportunities. Boom, boom. Yeah, this is nice, man. I can't wait for Goldie to go back to this. Boom, boom. Oh, nice. Look at this. Look at these little, this little PA over here. Little waterfall correction of that range right here. Nice rounded bottom. It's actually quite funny. It created such a smooth rounded bottom over there. Price for the most part tends to move more jagged. It's more jagged, but this is so smooth. Yoop. It came down, creating new low. Let's see what else. Yeah, I think that's what NQ is waiting for. It's just waiting to break above this area here. Quite simple analysis to see. I think everybody and their grandmother can see that NQ is ranging right now, and you know the path of least resistance is going to be above that area right over there. So expect some further pushes to the upside potentially. To the downside, it looks a bit more jaggedy. To the downside, a little harder to get through. So that's what we're expecting from NQ. As of gold spot, I like this swing. All right, you know, like gold spot. All right, so it's creating like these ranges. The question is like how to correct the ranges. If you can get like proper confirmations without needing to give like, you know, a second try, that sort of thing. But it has one potential range here to correct. Right here, we just need to get through that resistance. Let's just say potential buys above 51.80. 51.80, then it's gonna come and retest 154 pip range. That's it. Boom. See, fundamentally, what do we got? Today we have core PPI. Change in the price of finished goods and services sold by producers, excluding food and energy. And we are expecting bad numbers, a decrease from 0.7 to 0.3, which would mean a weak dollar and a bullish gold today for core PPI. Let's see what Donald Trump is up to. All right, so out of town, all right, what's this? Out of town travel pool call time, Mar-a-Lago. He's going to be in Mar-a-Lago all day. The president participates in a MAGA Inc. meeting. It's like Donald Trump's here having an early weekend at his Mar-a-Lago, participating in a MAGA Inc. dinner. Oh. Okay, so nothing to do with markets here today. I think all that was just yesterday. Yesterday that we had. Oh no, that was what is this? This is Saturday. Oh, that's Saturday, 28th. Okay, so interesting. They've already scheduled a day ahead. So 27th, let's see what he's doing today. TBD, the president participates in local TV interview. Departs Texas and Root Palm Beach. Man flies a lot. I was like flying literally every day, but you know, that's kind of the fastest way to do things, I guess. In town pool call time, out of town travel pool call time. Let's see. President receives an energy briefing, delivers remarks on energy. Yeah, so it doesn't seem like we're gonna get anything. The main talks were yesterday. President participates in a private meeting. Those are the closed door meetings regarding a situation with Iran. President receives his intelligence briefing. So that was all yesterday. So we haven't really got any word into the public of what to expect from the situation. So we're just waiting, you know. We're going to see what happens over the weekend, if any escalations happen over the weekend. But technically, they still have more time to come up with a deal. But apparently, these closed-door meetings, they did not yield any results. So most likely, we are going to see some tensions towards next week or the end of next week. Pakistan declares open war with Afghan. Yes. Exactly. Seems to be in a bigger range. 30 shows it. It might drop down to come back up. Yeah, at this point, man, I see nothing. I see nothing to the downside unless it's a breakout, a volume-based play to go through that support. Because yeah, it's a lot of heavy lifting over there. There's lots of rejection wicks too. Look at this area. Still need some. Even if you get that breakout, I'm pretty sure it will just probably pull up aggressively once it starts getting back into that zone. It's more straightforward if it will just break above 5180. Then it will just be heading towards somewhere where we can see like a bit more of a cleaner PA over there. The best case scenario. Comes down like this, just gonna create more range. Candlestick's gonna pull, boom, create more range, and then, you know, gonna look for some way to get it back up, I guess. Tell them don't make war, make love. Trump said there will be no peace in the Middle East. Yeah, price pushing down. Got that 8 SMA holding the candlestick down. It's breaking out of some accumulate. Yeah, it's breaking out of the accumulation right there. Yeah, just spiked down. Was that like 12 pips? It's trying to get away from this general zone. Look at that. That's exactly what I mean. This type of behavior. These pullbacks. Because like if it wants to go down, the thing is like it goes down, but it's been tending to like to do this a lot. It like break and then pull up and then come down and then dump. But even like on the dump, it doesn't even dump cleanly. It will dump and then pull up again and then dump and then try and dump again if it's meaning to go down. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of heavy lifting that it has to do below these regions for sure. That's Goldie. I think Goldie on a small vacation here. You know, Gold's been working a lot. We're on a small vacation there. If you notice, we've been kind of in like a rangy PA since like this section. Right here. And you see like that 10% of it is just such a small little chunk of openness that we got with PA where it just started moving in a certain direction. Just a small little chunk of it, but the whole time you see the market's just been ranging. A bit more range bound. Which typically is not that big of a deal as long as the intradays are swinging a lot and moving with commitment. Because that's all we got to see from price, right? All we got to see from price really is just a commitment. Like to see if we're going to break wicks, key areas, and keep moving in those directions without hesitation. Solid swings over here. Beautiful range. Picked out a few times though above here. Eventually volume came in. Massive candlestick kind of gave it away. Right over here. Volume coming in. Boom on that 1 minute. And start breaking properly. To fill this area. Can you please look at silver on large time frame? Silver's up 1.60% right now. Silver is doing what we expecting to do, is to break above this resistance here on that daily. It's also getting ready to break out on silver. Just need to get through 80, what's that, like 90 mark. But you see it's on the way up right now. Silver is also waiting for some missiles to launch. The missile is gonna launch, then also price here is gonna launch. That's what it's waiting for. But you know, that's kind of like, and the thing is, like, if missiles don't launch, it's not gonna be a good thing, which is kind of messed up. You know, if we get peace, it's not gonna be a good thing for gold. That means gold will continue to range, and it will need to find some more technical structure, technically based structure to play off based off of, you know. But if there's some kind of a catalyst like that missile launches, then you know that's pretty good. Price can move. Yeah, I don't think it will be good for markets in general, because even the dollar, I mean, the dollar, you know, Trump doesn't help the dollar much because, you know, he's a bit volatile with his tariffs and all of these things. So it's never really in a state of full stability in that sense. There's always something cooking up with the dollar. Always something cooking up. First, Trump wanted to weaken the dollar like the yen. Now he wants to strengthen it again with the tariffs. So like his story keeps going like back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So I think the best case scenario for the markets would be if tensions increase at this point, because we still have a lot of time before interest rate decisions in June, July, and then 150 days towards that next Supreme Court ruling for the tariffs. So the only thing that we can hope is something escalates, unfortunately, but you know, that's just the way it is. That's just the way it is. So that's why I think that the tensions are going to actually increase, because the markets will need that volume. Even if it's just going to be like, even if it's just some targeted, like very specific targeted areas and not like a full blown out war, obviously, but Just, you know, a few missiles here and there. Maybe it doesn't have to kill anybody, you know, it just can kill those automated weapons. Trying to justify a missile attack. You know, just like an automated jet gets hit, and then we can hit one of those automated gunships on the ground. Nobody has to die. But in essence, you know, like, why even put people in those fighter jets? They should be all remote controlled. Like, nowadays war should just be all remote controlled. My robots versus your robots. Who have the better equipment robotically? Right? Then we can just all watch it like some kind of a Netflix, and no humans are gonna be injured. Yep, so that's what we're waiting for. That is going to be the main thing. India's gold demand to be led by institutions and market infrastructure. World Gold Council CEO at Rising. Bharat Summit. India's next phase of gold demand is likely to be driven increasingly by institutional investors and financial market infrastructure, rather than household alone. Current gold rally is being underpinned by structural forces rather than short-term price momentum. I know you'd expect me to say gold is going up given my position, but I think there are 6 or 7 main reasons why gold will continue higher, citing geopolitics, interest rates, central bank buying, and what he describes as a growing fear of runaway global debt. Further episodes of stress in the US bond market following policy shocks as evidence that concerns around debt sustainability rather than inflation alone are shaping investor behavior. Yeah, central bank buying still remains critical support for the market. Tate said most developing economy central banks are continuing to accumulate gold, both as a portfolio diversifier and protection against currency volatility. See, what for my Indian investors? For Indian investors, Tate said modern investment routes are likely to coexist with traditional demand rather than replace it. Adding that gold-backed ETFs currently offer the most practical pathway within countries' regulatory frame. That's interesting because, you know, like household, when they're going to say like gradually moving away from the household, it means because, you know, price of gold is getting really expensive. So you can imagine most people, a daily wage for a daily salary in India for the just for the normal Indian, the Indians, we could say maybe they earn in a month. You can guess how much in a month? $150, somewhere like from $150, $200. It's not a lot. And you know, with the culture and having to buy gold for ceremonies, it's like getting really expensive now. So, you know, like they're already kind of taking a lot of debt for those things. And now it's getting more and more expensive. So it's likely gold demand is likely to be driven increasingly by institutional investors and financial market infrastructure rather than households alone. Because I remember just the other day when gold was here, and we're getting a lot of complaints from the physical buyers of gold, like when price was somewhere around like 4,000, when we were starting to break around 4,000 psychological mark, there was already a decrease of people willing to buy physical gold. And you know, it's like the market will just keep getting higher and higher. So we even peaked at like 5,600 and now hovering here at like 5,200, expecting price to hit 6,000 by the end of 2026. Per month, man, it's around $300 average. Let's Google. What is the average Indian salary? You know, India is pretty big, yeah. It's not just people living in the city, I guess. I don't know. It's written in Indian currency. 32,000 per month. What is that in dollars? In USD. That's annual salary. Monthly salary. Oh, monthly earnings typically range between 320 and 500. Oh, you're right, sir. $320. Let's see. Price is acting like it wants to break here on the 15-minute. Got about like 8 minutes, 20 seconds. Looks like it wants to break above 51.80. Got some wicks here that it wants to get through as well. I think that's a high. That's a high of the accumulation area here. Oh, it'll actually be a bit more higher up. 51.83. 15 minutes still got to get through that 8 SMA. See that 8 SMA still giving a bit of a hard time. Gold poised for weekly gain of nearly 4% on Haven demand. Gold prices broadly slid in the early trading, but are headed for a weekly gain of 4%. On the news that the US and Iran will continue discussions next week. Gold's role as a hedge against... Okay, same things. Same thing. At record prices, buyers are becoming more price sensitive, so short-term pullbacks or consolidation are to be expected. Oh, you see, buyers are becoming more price sensitive. So short-term pullback, so consolidation is to be expected. However, the main drivers of the rally, central bank diversification, tensions, possible policy easing, rate cuts, that is renewed ETF demand. Yeah, I mean, you know, buyers can be as cautious as they want to be, but you know, like price is always just going to go up. They're just going to be forced to buy. Anyway, they're just going to be forced to buy anyway. And we will see 5,400, 5,500 and ATH very, very soon. Very, very soon. Now, if they come up with a deal, you know, if US Iran come up with a deal, man, we're going to see a candle do this. A candle is going to come down. Even if it's not like a deal, but it's kind of like, man, the worst thing would be another waiting period. If after 10 to 15 days. Another waiting period would be the worst thing. Best case, they come up with a deal or they don't come up with a deal. Completely. Then we're going to get like overall daily direction. Four hours looking quite nasty over here. See a lot of wick build up, a lot of sideways motion. Wicks always give it away, right? Like every time your eyes should be gravitating towards these areas. When you're trying to see the health condition of the market, definitely always your eyes should be gravitating towards like the wicks. Like if there's gonna be a build up of wicks and like some kind of a compression. So you can see that's the case here on the 4 hour. Even on somewhat on today's daily, like since the Asia open. Got Asia high, Asia low. Nice correction over here, though very clean. It's also trying to correct this move. Yeah, now we're back at that point A for sure. Now definitely back here at a point A. Just getting ready for the next big one. I believe it's gonna be looking at that range though. That looks really clean on the HDF 15 and above. I mean, like breaks below here. Below here is lots of heavy lifting. It's not even as clean. It's not a high probability. Was that pending buy at 51.82? We'll see if it continues at that point. 51.82.89. Okay. Yeah, I think the buy is it will play out. The only thing you gotta be cautious is those pullbacks. But it should play out. Like 3 minutes 47 seconds. Candle's about to close. See, it's looking at his buddies over here. It doesn't have to close now. It can give you the illusion that it wants to close above. At like 3 minutes 30. Give you the illusion it wants to close above. And then you're going to see like candlesticks start rip back down and respect our resistance. It's looking back at his buddies over here. See his buddies? They had a hard time to move up. So he's going to see in the next 3 minutes 20 seconds. I also got to get through the school bully over here. You see, that's at 8 SMA. Kind of like bullying him. I call this the bully SMA. See how it like bullies the candles? 3 minutes. See if he can close above. Oh. Breaking. Pakistan has begun massive bombing campaign by air of Afghanistan against the Taliban. This is likely to escalate. Oh, we got a video over here. Got 30 seconds, 30 seconds, 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Candle about to close. About to see some variation come in. Hey, what's up? Issa. Hi guys, wish you a doubly freaky Friday. Thank you. Nice. You know what I noticed that gold has been doing as well of late? It will come close to an execution point. Let's say like this, right? Let's say it closes even above. It'll come close to an execution point. Then the next candlestick would come down like this and get close to an execution point, but it's harder for it to get any confirmations because it's already stretched. you'd have to wait for that next candlestick to open. And then the next one, which is basically just a consolidation, next one will just come back up like this again. But usually when it's going to start from here at the bottom, it's harder for it to break and execute properly because the candlestick will be overstretched. So it's kind of like been an annoying way that price has been doing to kind of like buy time for XY reasons. But yeah, right now we did get a 15-minute closure above. So that should shift the variables ideally towards the upside. It's like a shotgun play. It's going to be looking to break these wick highs by 51.82. It's a 15-minute shotgun. Still got those rejection wicks here. Still got rejection wicks to look out for on price. These still quite an important area right here. These should at least get through the 15-minute rejection wicks. It's building accumulation right now. It looks like it wants to create some volume to break above. Oh, like nice little yeah, by the time it's breaking 51.82, that should be definitely like one confirmation. So the variables are stacking up right now. The first thing is candlestick close above resistance on the 15-minute, close at 8 SMA. Now you need like secondary variables to increase probabilities for price to continue in that direction, which is going to be wick breaks. But now since it's come down like this, it's actually creating accumulation right here. It's going to try and use this or attempt to use this to break through those highs. If it does get through above those wicks, if it can confirm it there. If it doesn't and it ends up breaking below here, then it's just going to dip lower back into the range. But yeah, right now it is attempting trying to make a move here. See what US 100 is doing on the 4 hour. You see, like so much. It's like currently a little bit cleaner. It's a little bit more opened up, you know. That's kind of like what we love to see. Look at this inverted head and shoulders right over here. Beautiful range, got mopped up, little accumulation break, SMA confluence. Very nice, very nice opened up PA. Nice little accumulation right here. It's gearing up for a break above that 4 hour. I think that 4 hour is not 4 hour, but was that the daily? Yeah, that daily resistance. Daily resistance over here. It's only up 1.30%. Most likely just going to see a lot more further upside on this. It's going to try. It's accumulating right by that resistance. Trying to get enough orders in to move up. Whereas gold spot. This gold spot kind of hovering here. Kind of indecisive whether to keep moving on the 15. See, now it's trying to reject that area again, just like its buddies did. See, he's always looking left at his buddies. So you always got to look left. To cross the road, you got to look left. And see what previously happened here. That can give a probability that what can happen over here. Rejection wicks, and we got some clean range. So you get through those rejection wicks. It's in a very sticky situation, gold, right now. Very delicate situation here. Very delicate situation because it can't go down. It also has a lot of rejection wicks here. It will struggle to move down as well, right? And to move up, we need some buyer confidence to break through these wicks, which we're currently not getting. Instead, it just broke the lows of the accumulation right now. That was the accumulation that was to be the break above the highs. It just broke the lows. Can you explain the difference between a tax entry? We don't have tax. I don't know what tax entry is. A shotgun entry and a bomber clot. Oh, a bomber clot. A bomber clot is just like, you know, if you get like a very good running trade. So if you get stuck in here and price just moves like with a big candle, that's just what we call a bomber clot. Okay, a shotgun entry is basically like if you get a candle close above resistance like this, and then the next candle re-breaks the previous highs, it's like a shotgun entry. That could be on the 15-minute, 5-minute, any time frame really, but most of the time it's happening on like on the 5-minute. So you see like candle here close above resistance, but then this candle couldn't break the previous candlestick highs. Correct? It couldn't confirm the momentum to the upside. And you're going to take these like whenever you got like clean range for price to correct, which we do have over here. So it's going to be like shotgun or basically breakouts, right? So we also like to trade breakouts. There's very like specific rules we use as TFX concepts to execute on these trades. You see like that's a breakout. The one that should have been breaking the highs, we mentioned right over here. Boom, boom, boom. It's actually breaking the lows. See how much that dipped, about like 10 pips. Really low volume, to be honest. Like typically would expect like even a break like this to already be at like 15 pips maybe. But slowly but surely volume is kind of decreasing slightly. But I still expect 2026 to be a really good year. There's a lot of things lined up on the menu for yeah, there's a lot of things lined up for the year. Just need to get that fundamental work in, and then we'll be good. We'll be good to go. Otherwise, you know, just expect more speed bumps in the results here as well. That's all that means. We'll still be performing quite well. That's at least what I expect from previous data. But definitely just expect a little bit more speed bumps here and there. Up until we get some sort of a direction, and then we get clean burning fuel. That's why we need clean burning fuel. Then we'll be good to go. You know, your results should mirror the market, right? It would make sense for you also to be like having so many winning trades in a market environment that's not so great. Because that means when the market environment's really great, or maybe you got a foolproof strategy, I don't know, but typically it would mirror the current market. So you see, if markets consolidate, my results are going to consolidate as well. If markets move, my results are going to move. And the good thing is like markets, man, since last year, they've just been moving a lot more. Like, but on average, markets will move. Like if you look at 2024, 2023, yeah, you're going to get speed bumps every now and then, but on average, markets do move. Like there's a lot of volume on gold, you know. We're at a pivotal point right now. This is a very crucial, whereas we're heading towards the end of the quarter as well. We got one more month towards the end of this quarter. It's a very crucial point that could set the tone for the rest of the year. Because if they come up with a deal, the US and Iran, then you know that's kind of the tone that's been set for the year. If they don't come up with a deal, then we can expect something from gold again to the upside. So we're just kind of like in a really pivotal area right now. That's why the market's doing this. It's a very important time. You see, but that's what I mean. Like, typically gold doesn't do this. It won't push. All right, the pullback was not too bad. It was about like 7.5, but typically, like even if it pulls back, it wouldn't like pull back like that. It will pull like a little bit and then continue that direction. But that's what we've been seeing quite a bit of. Little pullbacks, boom, boom, boom. But they've been deeper. That's the problem. They've been deeper and then they come down like this later. But at least this one was more or less respectable. It came like that, about like 7-8 pips, boom, 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 and then came back down. Fill up the range. So this should have actually happened on the opposite direction. Like you flip it like this. That would have been the attempt to try and break out to clean the range that we saw in the HTF. You like flip the scale. But you see it happen the opposite direction. And that's a beautiful thing because like usually even price shouldn't break that low if it doesn't want to continue in that direction anyway. It would like obviously just break the high and then keep moving up. You gotta put your trust in the market sometimes. I say like I trust PA. You know, I don't think markets are random. I feel like they're very deliberate. So I for the most part trust PA. If you're gonna have a bias on some days, you know, awesome. But prices should never really break. Especially at the key times that you trade with consistency. They should not be breaking the areas it doesn't want to go towards. You just gotta kind of like put your trust in the market as well. A lot of people don't do that. A lot of people always think that it's out to get them, and the moment they execute on a trade and get a little bit of drawdown, they start getting fearful, which is the wrong way to go about things. You know, when you take a trade, you gotta take a trade with confidence. You know, you gotta say like, this is the position, this entry right here. It's confirmed, so that means there's a probability, a higher probability it's gonna play out. That's it. And then the rest of it is just noise. So yeah, I think that's why you gotta make your entries count when you take a trade. You shouldn't second guess them. Your worst entries are the ones you're gonna second guess when you're gonna think hard about them. Took German 40, risk 50% of profit. Oh, very good. See, how much did that peak? Break of the low, boom, boom, about 35. Okay, in here, 10, 8, 33, 35. It's gearing up for the main show. Pretty strong pullback on that 15 too. Kind of like a doji here. Got 2 minutes to close. If this thing was to still reflip and break the highs, it would be a pretty nice rejection towards the lows. Got that nice little 8 SMA. You see, that's a bully SMA. See now how it's like bullying this candle, trying to lift it up. Now the buyers are going to use that as confluence since they were able to take it over this 15 minute. Let's see how this candle here closes. Got about 2 minutes. If it closes bearish, it's going to create a new resistance right over there. So price will have to break back above that resistance. But it looks like, to me, it looks like it wants to spring up though. Eight minutes till we hit the new 1 hour and 9 a.m. volume. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. We got the hourly candle here opening up soon. About a minute. Let's see what the hourly's doing. Yeah, this hourly candlestick didn't do anything. There were no real payouts on that hourly candle, except maybe that minor sell. We had a little accumulation break. But yeah, this hourly has not done anything. So possibly it's the next one that makes the move. See, it's just come back into the gulag. Right here, we call this the gulag. So we're gonna adjust this resistance now. It's got to break above 51.80. I'm trading BTC today instead, way more clean than gold. Ah, very good. Yeah, if you trade like 2 pairs, then that's a benefit, I guess, of trading 2 pairs. When I traded gold and GJ, that was the idea. Sometimes like when gold would like consolidate, GJ would be moving. But if you're trading BTC, there's a new tournament here focused on cryptos. You got the Leap now, crypto edition, the Leap paper trading competition. I think first place gets like anywhere between 5k or 10k. Alright, we got a new hourly open. Great, like bottom wick. Still stuck in the range. Gotta get through these wicks. Oh, JJ got a nice range playing out. Let's see. Yeah, JJ's been moving. Look at this thing. This has been moving pretty nice of late. That's how we need to see Goldie open up like that. Yeah, it's created a really nice range, like if it's gonna come down. Right now it's also trying to move up from here. Broke above, kind of like parabolic into that level because you had like multiple candlesticks go up. No real structure form, like solid structure to respect this area over here. Kind of like just moved up parabolically to that level. Yeah, but very nice swing. Here's Goldie. I think that hourly candle is gonna attempt the range. Oh, it's got the SMAs to catch up to here. You have we're coming closer to on the hourly. We got the 50 and 8 crossover. Those are really pesky. Those SMAs right there, they're really pesky. And like 4 hours still trying to hold it up though. But you could expect some kind of a reaction if we tap into one of them. Like they say at the end of the day, hey, what's up, Dirk, thank you for the sub. They say at the end of the day, price is king, but definitely moving averages, you're gonna see some reactions. You can download the free moving averages in the description box. You know, it's good to have on the chart. You never know. You never know. It might get like some kind of like a aha moment. It might aid in some kind of aha moment for something. If you're trailing trades, if you know you're getting rejections, you might just get an aha moment. Because you know, besides from candles, you're not gonna see anything else here. You know, if you remove the SMAs, there's nothing. There's nothing there. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna start doing this. This is what you're gonna do. You're gonna draw a line like this, and then you're gonna draw another line like this, and you're gonna do all this kind of like gymnastics, mental gymnastics of why you think price should be rejecting certain areas. When all you gotta do is just get the free SMAs, boom. Simple. Remove all of this additional analysis that you're doing that, you know, at the end of the day, you're not going to be able to be consistent when you're doing this, and just focus on what price is currently doing and what kind of like psychological areas it can react off of. That are going to be like rounded numbers, key rounded numbers. Right now, we don't really have anything, or the SMAs. They work pretty nice, I can tell you. But I think like a rounded number would be a target by 5200. That would be the magnet over there. If we start correcting this range, like 5200 psychological. Hopefully we'll get a breakout on NY session since it's also the end of the month. If not, we'll just have Bart Simpson pattern next week. You see, it's rejecting. You see, it's looking at his buddies here. His buddies, they couldn't do it. They couldn't do it. So he's also going to struggle a bit. His buddies couldn't do it. So, you know, they're just kind of accumulating here. They're still deciding what to do, what the next move is. Because, you know, they're trying to get into this club. But the bouncer said, need to see some IDs. And they didn't have any IDs. So all their mates over here, they tried all the strategies. Now they're kind of consolidating again. Gonna think what club to go to next. Or what are they gonna do? Oh, they're gonna wait for their female friends. So if they try and come back above here, they're gonna wait for their female friends to come through, and then they're probably gonna get the lads in. Gonna wait for the female friends. That's if they come back up here. If they don't, that means they gotta go and find another club. So maybe they're gonna try this club over here. You gotta get through this wick. Just gotta get through that wick. It's a bit easy of a club to enter, right? I got this one guy kind of protecting the door over here. Not a lot of defenses, so we'll see now. We will see now. It's a very tricky situation. This is very, very delicate situation. Because even if it comes down below here, it's arguably a bit easier for price to break through there. It's still got to deal with this like section, which is not like the cleanest of price action to get through. They'll be better off if they can just like get above and then just push through that zone, because price action is, or PA is, moving sideways anyway. You know, you got support, you got resistance, you're still moving sideways anyway. So typically when you come at the bottom of the range, you're expecting price to go back to the top of the range. You know, when you got to think of the boogeyman and liquidity grabs and all of these things, that's just like a whole bunch of speculation. If the market does it, it does it. Awesome. But ideally, price, when it behaves the way it should be behaving, it should respect this area and then break above and then retest that next zone, as we're just moving sideways. But if it really struggles, it might look for some liquidity down below there. You might see a candlestick try and pop down like this and then leave some more further rejection wicks, like you see right over here, and then attempt that breakout a little bit more violently. Because right now it's been quite polite as they are approaching the door over here. They're, you know, it's quite polite PA. They haven't done any real liquidity grabs except maybe this one attempt down over there. See, small liquidity grab below here, and then they try to push up. Boom. But it's facing a lot of resistance. And the daily is trading 0.12% right now. So daily is like a doji. So got like negative 0.12%. That's it. That's all that it is. No one's gonna make money over here unless price moves anywhere. You know what I mean? Objectively speaking, no one is gonna make money here unless price moves anywhere. I don't care about your sniper entries. If you got a John Wick, this will call it John Wick entry. Not talking about this lucky stuff. Anybody can take a trade anywhere and make some money. But can you do it consistently and objectively? It's a question. So that's what we're waiting to see. The objective move out of this zone. That's going to be a big, massive distribution to the downside, a little spike to the downside, or it's going to be a big spike to the upside. But we just need to see an objective movement, and then we're going to know that people are getting paid, but no one's getting paid right now. Not in this zone. It will break. It's going to try and break maybe 51.74. See a very juicy accumulation here. Very, very juicy sideways movement. You can imagine all the orders here. You need a liquidity indicator to tell you that there's orders here that need to be distributed. Imagine all the buyers and sellers in this zone right here. Right? Eventually, it needs to go somewhere. Eventually, it's got to do something. Lots of liquidity spikes happening here. You can see like within the range. That's all just noise. All of this is just noise. Hard to believe this is how London has opened. No one's trading. Yes. It's the end of the week over here, and I don't know if we're gonna have news over the weekend, like any surprise attacks or anything of the sort. It'll be quite interesting if we do. It'll be a bit unprecedented. I would imagine this is happening more towards end of next week rather than this weekend. But, you know, we're still soldiering on nonetheless. You know, we're still trading the trenches here. Just take the good and the bad as they come. You know? Let's see if this breakout's going to be a clean cut through. Got about like 0.15%. We're looking to take out these lows. Right over here. It's a low by 50, 51, 74. $51, 74, 14. Look at it. It's thinking. It's getting ready. It's limbering up. I'm gonna move this down over here. Because technically, once it breaks that, you see it struggled so much above the highs. Struggles so much above the highs. You would expect that once it breaks this, this is not the cleanest PA. This is not something you're gonna run to the chart and really feel bad for missing out on. It's just going to be a situation where the best I can explain it is that the market, it always has to move somewhere, correct? So even it's like not the cleanest setup, it's the only setup that's available to the current market condition right here. So it's gonna really attempt to find a reason to move. It's gonna have to move anyway. So gonna break the lows over here with some kind of accumulation breakout confluence, and then also rejection wicks over here, and then try and push through this zone, through this rejection wicks here on the left hand side. I still think the buys would have been cleaner though. Boom, clean traffic. But the good thing about sells is like sells move pretty fast. So that's why I love sells. Getting stuck into sells is my favorite. Just like this morning, man, these sells, they just completely melted once they started breaking below 51.89 here. Completely melted to correct that range. 15 minutes still need to close below support, I think. Right here, 15 minutes support. Yeah, but there's just nothing. There's rejection wicks. But if we close below support, I guess it's an additional confirmation. But you know, in a situation like this, those closes I don't even pay attention to, because this will just require more of like an impulse. This is going to be an impulse entry. You know, a close works better when there's some kind of a direction for candles to head towards. Like here, like even here. But this is the purest form of candlestick reading, right? This is the purest form of price action, of understanding candlesticks. So you gotta learn how to read certain environments like this, where price is struggling, what it's doing, how it's fluctuating. Like this is it. You cannot escape this. Like the additional stuff, your indicators, they're just gonna be additional. Anything beyond this is just gonna be additional confluence, maybe edge. But the real source of your profitability is coming from the core. This is the core, right? Your core strength is your ability to understand how to read candlesticks for what they are. Wicks and candle bodies in situational context, like context of where it is and context of where the overall market is feeling sentimentally. That is the core essence of understanding PA, you know? Beyond just like your typical market structure videos of like price moves like this, or... Because if you're trying to catch a trade, you're trying to catch a trade of here, right? If you want to take a trade, it's like what's happening in this moment. It doesn't matter if daily time frame is moving structurally like this necessarily or like this, correct? Because that can be easily confused, because if you zoom out enough, gold will look like it's looking like this. If you zoom out a little bit inside, gold will look like it's moving small up and then sideways, right? Then we had that daily break and then it's moving sideways now. And if you zoom a little bit more, market structure will look like it's just moving sideways. Like you can see on the daily, it's just moving sideways. So it can get a lot confusing, like how you're going to apply market structure due to those reasons, due to the amount of data that you're choosing to zoom out and use, right? That's when it gets a bit confusing, right? That's why it's a good thing to kind of reduce as much of that as possible. And that's why we have here a daily bias indicator to help you with that. It's a free daily indicator. It's what I basically use. It will show you, like, basically will tell you if the market is ranging today or if it's trending bullish or bearish. Simple as that. It won't take data from God knows when. It will take data from what's currently happening in the market. So as you can see right now, markets are generally and objectively moving sideways. You have support, you have resistance since the market opened right over here. That's it. It doesn't matter what happened last Sunday, what happened last week Friday. It doesn't matter. Market today is moving sideways, whether you like it or not. So you're gonna wait. You're gonna have to wait. You're gonna have to wait. If you're waiting for strong market condition, the daily needs to, let's say, pull up towards, today we haven't even seen a trend. The daily would need to pull and break above the Asia highs to start trending. And if you're looking for a sell, then we're gonna need to re-break the daily lows, the Asia lows. And then you're gonna see a sell condition below the Asia lows. Once it start getting down here, get a bit more direction in. But right now you're kind of like trading the trenches, right? So if you're bottom of a trench, we want to see it come back to the top of the trench. Hey, Rob. This is trench trading. See this? These guys are stuck between a rock and a hard place. No confirmations. At least if it broke above here or below here, it would give some kind of a confirmation, but now it's like spinning. $15 minutes still need to close below. Let's see, German 40, one more go. German 40 breakout. This looks like the sell that just happened on gold. Well, the structure looked kind of similar. Right here. It looks like the market open move as well. This one looks cleaner though on gold. Got some dojis here. Oh wait, no, actually, I think it's a broker. The broker's creating lots of gaps. It's not looking as appetizing. We got like gaps over here. Let's see, 5 minute. Whips, whips, whips. What is gulag? Gulag is the area that you're gonna get whips. That's gulag. NQ might break out. Oh yeah, it's breaking above resistance there. True. A much higher time frame range as well. This is not like a small 5 minute. You see, like this is the same size. This fits the shoe size of this time frame. This correction, correct? But this is not fitting the same shoe size. This is a much bigger shoe size for, let's say, a 5 minute, because that's a 5 minute structure here. Technically, beyond this point doesn't have much standing in its way, but it's a much higher time frame range to correct. Maybe it looks a bit better. The shoe size fits a bit better here. Maybe like, you know, the hourly time frame, the hourly candles, maybe even the 30-minute. Yeah, 30-minute an hour. Yeah, it's trying to break out. I want to say a nice push on gold. You know, we want to see whatever move, like it moves up, that it moves just flawlessly up without any, what do you call it? Any fight. You know, sometimes the market likes to fight you for these moves. Sometimes it likes to fight you. So it comes and it trickles and maybe it has some whiplash before it starts to move up. It doesn't mean like, it doesn't always mean that you could have done something differently. It just means that you just gotta be consistent, right? You just have to be consistent, because those times are gonna come in the market where you're gonna take a trade, it shakes you out and then goes in your direction. Like it's going to happen, correct? Like the important thing is not about always trying to avoid every single fake out in the market. You can't. And if you start to do that, you'll always be in a forever loop of journaling each day. You can't avoid every single fake out, so you just have to stick with your guns and just accept, like, if it moves without the manipulation, you know, awesome. That's what you're expecting to do anyway in the long run. In the long run, that will happen more times than not when you get your confirmation. It will happen more times when you get your confirmation that price will go in your direction. So you gotta take comfort in that, you know? You're not gonna worry about avoiding every single whip. Because the funny thing is, the more whips you try and avoid, the more whips you're gonna get. I'm going to feel very chill if we come back up and break the structure we should run. That's what we're all waiting for here. Want to see price break at least this wicks, right? 51.82. That hourly is not done anything. I see the hourly is just holding here. It's we're heading towards the second half of the hourly candle. And the truth is, the market can just stay here until, you know, you have to also cater for the higher time frames. Sometimes, like on the lower time frames, the higher time frame candles, they only move towards the tail end of them closing. So you see maybe towards like 5-minute close, or, you know, 3-minute close, you're going to see a push. Longer the accumulation, the more important will be distribution. Yes. Exactly. More important will be the distribution. Because now everybody can see it. Objectively, we're gonna all see it. And when it starts to move, everybody and their grandmother is gonna be saying price is moving now. You know, because right now everybody's sitting on their hands. But when it starts to break the highs, everybody gets excited now. So that's gonna be a first round of impulsive entries coming in. If it breaks the highs or it breaks the lows right here. They're all gonna be like impulse entries. Where's Ellie at? Hey, Mr. Kevja. February 21 wins, 5 losses, 0 break-evens. Nice. Very good.
When he's around, you've always got a chance.
Let's see. How many trades you're taking?
Isto é para vosotros.
Two. Alright, so got 2, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 2, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2. Very good. See, not over trading, just sticking to 2 to 3 trades a day. Or 1 to 3 trades a day. 1 to 3 trades a day. That's all that you gotta do. That's all that you got to do. Hi, how can I talk to Vic? You can send me a message on Instagram. Let me send you all my link. I got like how many more minutes here? Like 3 minutes. 3 minutes. Candle starting to close now above resistance again. It's at 50 W now, 57. Sometimes I don't update. Sometimes I forget to update it on stream. That's why. So I can go maybe like, you know, 3 days, maybe 2-3 days without updating that number. But it's here. Just go on the spreadsheet. I'm just taking 1 or 2 trades a day. Like on average, I'm taking like 2 to 3. 2 to 3. But sometimes I forget to edit this one right here. On stream. All right, price trying to break out the gulag. One minute 50 seconds. Can we break above? Can you have sometimes 2 positions in one setup like a scaling strategy? Yes, we've talked about it before on the WAP database, on the simulations that we do. There is a scaling. There is a method to scaling that you can take advantage of. Because, you know, the time that you're going to put more risk on in the market is when you can effectively reduce risk. So, you know, there's a way that we're going to do it. Like we're going to reduce risk to either break even or maybe even 50%, cut 50% off the first trade and then, or like even more, 50% or more or less, depending on the opportunity. It depends on how the candlesticks print that determine how the first entry's risk is going to look. Whether it's going to be closer to BE, cut 50%, below 50%. That's the whole thing. It will depend on how the candles print. But yeah, sometimes it's like a really good way to look at maximizing gains. It's definitely a bit more of like an aggressive approach towards markets. I think it serves a different purpose as well, depending on what kind of challenge you're trying to do. But the option is there. I don't typically do it myself. I try not to, because when I get into my trade, I'm looking all the time for like at least 2%, like on average anywhere between like 1 or 2%. 1 or 2% from that one position. And since there's so much volume as well, right now, you could do it. You could really maximize gains. But even that trade that you're taking can push quite a lot. If you're risking like 2%, if you get like 1 to 2, let's say if you look at a risk to reward. But you know, a 1-to-1 for me is 2%, right? A 1-to-1 is 2%. So if price ends up pushing more than that, like I could easily get a 1 to 2, 4%. I look at percent, remember. But when market conditions are not moving as much as this, for example, that scaling opportunity was beautiful because on average the market would move like, you know, average like 10 pips. It would have like less pips, so we had different ways to maximize gains. But market conditions are always shifting, you know, like you've seen now market conditions a lot more volatile, a lot more volume, I mean. So you don't have to take those aggressive scale-ins as much. So for example, like right now, the only thing that I can do to mitigate a risk like this, you see, since it's like got a few clusters over here, what I would typically do, I would still risk 2%, but I would close at a 0.5 risk to reward, which would be like 1%. So that's for me saying that I'm not getting the push that I want to see. So let me at least just take my 1% if it's not getting towards like a 1-to-1. So I'm a very percent oriented trader. I don't focus on these things because, you know, my risk is I look at this thing here as something that's a bit more fluid. I can control this a little bit more. I can't control this. You know, sometimes price pushes, you can have like higher probabilities for this part, but you can control this. At the end of the month, your P&L will read percent. It wouldn't read risk reward or pips. So you gotta control this. You gotta control this. So my system, like even, you know, the thing, you don't have to be right as well. So if you got TP, let's say like 20 pips here at 2%, you don't need to be right. When price goes up in your favor, the variables shift. When it heads up towards like, let's say 10 pips, 1%. As it's getting closer to 10 pips, stop loss to break even. The variables are always shifting. Correct? So you gotta get good with fluid trading, with being fluid with your execution as well. But I think like that's gonna come with time because a lot of people are gonna mismanage once they start to like move this thing around. Because, you know, you still don't know what exactly it is you're doing. If you're trying to figure out your own edge, you're gonna mismanage a lot moving this around. But it's a skill or it's a habit. It's a good habit to start like paper trading. You know, so when you take your trades and waiting for risk rewards to play out, you can paper trade what else that you could have done differently. To make yourself also feel more comfortable about the trade, right? Because maybe sometimes you get like price go in your favor like this, you're waiting for that RR, but you don't secure partials or anything. So you got to look and see what could you have done differently that would have made you feel more comfortable, whether that's securing partials or adjusting the SL at a certain point. I feel like I'm getting gaslit when I remember that 50 pips used to be a juicy range. Hey Nazir, thank you for the sub. Make sure you leave a like on the stream, guys. Come on now, stop playing. Go 190 people here. Oh, 46 likes. Let's do it. Let's do it, chat. Let's do that YouTube business, which is to feed the algorithm. We gotta feed the algorithm here. Otherwise, the algorithm's confused. It's like, man, why is this guy watching and not liking this video? Is he enjoying it? Is he cleaning the house while the TV's on? What is he doing? I was gonna ask you, you still... Oh, kind of dropped off there for a second. All right, we're back. We are back. I feel okay. We read that. You tend to talk about sharks in the water. What does that mean? Oh, it means like liquidity grab. You see, like right now, there's a bit of a shark in the water. So this is it. When the price is moving like with a lot of indecision, with a lot of fake outs, you know, you see a lot of wicks, long wicks like this, breaking structure and then pulling up. That's what we call it as a shark in the water. There's somebody who is, or the market is rather just manipulating a lot. You don't want to swim in the ocean when there's a shark in the water, right? You wouldn't jump in if you knew there's a shark in the water, would it? Imagine if you were jumping into an ocean. Would you jump into the ocean here when you know there's a shark in the water? When you're seeing the wicks like this? You know, when you're seeing certain things not moving correctly, you wouldn't jump in, would you? Hey, what's up, Sadiq? Just stopping by. Hope you're good, Vic. Thank you for stopping by. Yeah, we're doing pretty well over here, you know. Ending off the month in a good fashion, but for me it's not about the money, it's not about percentage gains, it's about performance. So I'm always trying to say, like, even in a situation like this where we're getting lots of speed bumps, I'm trying to think like, how can we, you know, what can we do about this situation when price moving like this? So over the years I've come to realize, like, because everything's gonna have a ceiling, right? Eventually in your trading, every system is going to have some kind of like a ceiling to how well it can perform through certain periods, right? So like the only solution I've seen to these usually is to just not to trade at all, not to take positions to avoid the speed bumps. That's the only solution. But me just following my rules, I will take trades anyway and just let it play out, because I like to trade as well at the end of the day, just as long as it's not a detriment to my overall gains, right? I can end the month profitably. As long as that's the case, then I'll trade through the trenches. But I would say for most people is to recognize when not to trade is going to be the most important thing. Is to recognize when not to trade, not when always to trade, especially when you're trying to build a confidence in yourself. You know, when you're trying to have some kind of stability, some kind of a consistency where you're going to feel good about your progress that you're making. You got to really focus then on when not to trade, right? Because every win and loss is going to affect you a lot more. I'm starting to think we're going to break to the downside to make rejection on the up move. It's gearing up. It's getting ready. I want to see whatever it's going to do here is like 50-50. 50-50. But if it can break above here, at least there's this direction. Clean range direction. If it breaks below here, man, it's not looking too good. Because, you know, if it breaks below there, it's going to create a resistance over here as well. So if a candlestick pulls down, we're going to have this become like a resistance. Which, you know, it depends on even how it pushes down. Because sometimes it does it like in a very ugly way where it like leaves wicks. Leaves wicks and then you maybe get a setup here. But anyway, I think the buys would look nice. Let's see. Let's just wait and see. Reaching that lonely trader. Lonely. I am so lonely. Trading is the best profession for people who are introverts. You know, it's just the best thing. Best job in the world. Just you, yourself, and the markets, which again is markets is just a reflection of you as well. It's gonna be like if you're impatient, the market is gonna bring that out of you. If you're okay with comfortable with yourself, comfortable with silence, then you know, then you're gonna be comfortable with the market too. Sometimes the market's gotta be your buddy, you know. It's gotta be that buddy that you're gonna sit in a room and just shut up and not need to always say something, so you're gonna feel comfortable. You know, sometimes you gotta be able to just sit and chill and enjoy your own company, you know. Then trading is the best job in the world for you. But if you're restless, if you don't enjoy your own company, you always need to be entertained by people. You know, some people like that. Very good social people. They're good at making connection with people and talking. I don't like trading is not, maybe, you know, maybe it's not. It could work definitely 100%. But performance-wise, I always feel it's always introverts. Usually these kind of quiet people who are like performing a lot more, reflecting a lot more. Because, you know, like at the end of the day, if you're going to take a buy here and it doesn't play out, the first thing you got to do is like journal that trade and see how you could reflect. You got to reflect on every trade, like after you take it. Don't leave it till the end of the day, because you're not either not going to do it, or it's just not going to be potent enough for you to learn from it. See, 30-minute, we're trying to break above the 30-minute SMAs. The hourly SMAs are catching up as well. You see, this is giving like the hourly is giving a bit more struggle over here. There will be something to come later on. You'll see, we might tap into it and then pull down. But at the moment, it's trying to break above that 30. Breaking above that 30. Five-minute candle struggle to close above and open with no bottom wick. So we have all the ingredients today. Freaky Friday is on, last trading day of the month. Oh, yes. Some serious question about the geopolitical macro datas. Yes, exactly. We have a trifecta of things here that are going to affect price. Yeah, exactly. Freaky Friday, end of the month. That's true. But you know, it can create a very, very beautiful, like if you just get stuck in right, you know, the thing is like price just has to move. It's like in a simple way to say it, like price just has to move. So if you get stuck in just right, man, you're gonna have a really nice day over here. You know, like look at this sell. This is the sell I was trying to catch this morning. For example, let's try to catch this sell to fill this range from this area. Correct? So you get stuck in just right, man, it can be really good. That's what I'm thinking, like this range could be as well. Once it start breaking above that high, could give like certain opportunity like that. Like sure, there's a risk of the pullbacks and everything, but if there isn't gonna be a pullback, then it could be quite a good trade.
Bomboka!
Damn, Schwartz, you gym like every day? Alrighty, time to build a six-pack on my back. See you around. In case I don't see you today. Wow. Let's get it. Bro, gymming every day. Where do you gym rats get the energy from? How are you gonna gym every day? Let's see. Break above 50, 51.82. I train one muscle group per day. Okay. Yeah, I think that's more manageable. How many sets do you do per muscle group by the end of the week? I think I'm clocking in about 13 sets per muscle group for myself. But I only gym like twice a week. Alright, it's getting ready to break. Let me confirm that. Yeah, I got... Oh, wait. Not 13. Man, that's a lie. Chest, 9 sets. Back, 14 sets. Back gets hit quite a lot. But on average, everything else is 19 sets a week. Only back gets like 14 sets. But you know, like, these 9 sets are also being indirectly hit by other workouts. They're getting hit indirect. But direct hits are like 9 sets on average. Except back 14. I think a good amount of sets is you could say maybe 11 they could say, but you know, you're hitting them indirectly anyway. No trade today? Yeah, I see it's still struggling. It needs to get through these wicks at least for something to happen for us to clean up more. I think I was doing 12 sets a week when I was doing 3 workouts per week, upper body. 3 sets per upper body muscle group. Since I don't do legs. I mean, damn, kind of confused myself. Yeah. I don't do bottom, so I got 9 sets. 9 sets per muscle group, upper body. Gotta start running or something, you know? Just don't have time. Sometimes you gotta choose between going to the gym or making money. You know, when you gotta focus on other things. I'm gonna have a build like Elon Musk soon. The more businesses I get involved in, I'm gonna start looking like Elon Musk. Like Elon Musk build. Man doesn't need to hit the gym. His bank account's hitting the gym. Elon Musk's build. You gotta look like this. Look at this build over here. Schwartz, would you have a build like this and be worth billions? Look at this build. This is a real man's build right here. Real man's build. Because you know, like, where you gotta find the time, bro? Like, how are you gonna find the time? You gotta choose. What are you gonna do? You're gonna have muscles, you're gonna be a billionaire. Got the Elon Musk build. Oh wow, look at this. Price is moving down. Now we're starting to break below support over here by 151, 51.74. 51.74. There's an alien inside operating the body like Men in Black. It's a good one. Yeah, I mean, like, you know, the thing is, like, when people are gonna think a lot, it takes a lot of energy. That whole mental thinking and all this thinking, it takes so much energy from you that your physical body is, you know, it gets tired. Wow, man, look at this. There's some real volatility here today. Still can't get through the bounces by 51.82. So you say it's like it's drawing liquidity. It's trying to draw on liquidity down over here to break above these highs. So I mean, like, this is such an important area. If it breaks this zone, it should just do it clean. It should just get a clean swoop up. So that is actually quite a nice confluence to see. I came down, take out the low, and then create support to break the highs. They could be just fetching orders. Maybe there's nothing here.
bitch on that beat going crazy.
Dump it. I should pull up. I'll be patient in a situation like this. I wouldn't take it off the rip because I know down here is not anything as anything a what do you call it? This is nothing appetizing that price can move through that level. So situation like that, I would just wait because you know in hindsight maybe you're gonna see the next candle start to do this, and you're gonna be like, damn man, I wish I just waited a bit longer. Then you would see like after taking a loss here, that would be looking a lot more better. So we've all been in that situation before, haven't we? Where we kind of want to rush the trade, and then we end up taking the wrong side of it, and then you see quickly starts to shift over like this, and you just kind of like gotta watch it go without you because you already take your shot for the session. Then you start to look at it and you're like, man, this is the one, man. If I just waited a bit longer, this one I feel so good about it now. And then it ends up doing something like that. But then the market knows how to get you. If like you're super impatient, then it like traps you in a situation like this. Right? So some of us may still be going through that on a daily basis where we're finding ourselves being a bit impatient and then getting trapped like that before the move that we wanted. There's like a similar situation that could be happening here. So it's created a new resistance as well. We keep pushing it up slightly. You see every time it creates a new higher high, it pulls down. So it's a very like shocky environment. And you create a new higher high and pull out. Like it's just the same way it pulls down like this, create a new lower low, and then pulls back up. Usually people can't really make money in a condition like that because you got buyers, stop loss, buy, stop loss, sell, stop loss. That's typically what that looks like. That's when the market really wants to screw you over. Then it's going to start doing that. It will break the lows and break the highs and then pull up and down. And look at this. This is happening on a Friday. Most people's mental are weak by the time Friday comes about. Most people's mental get weak. Depending on how much a character development has been happening throughout the week. By the time Friday comes around, and man, when the market catches you like this on a Friday, holy. Holy. You're just gonna want to blow their account. That's what most people do on a Friday. They're just gonna want to blow their account because you know there's been so much character development. They can't handle it anymore. So instead of building back with good habits, it's easier to just burn it all down and then start afresh next week. You got a fresh account, then you gotta start building again afresh. And if it's an easy week, awesome. But the moment like happens where you get like a difficult week, that's when people start to burn it down. They're rather gonna burn everything down than try and rebuild back up. Correct? We've all been there. We've all been there. We've all been there. We do it to certain different degrees though. Some of us still manage risk while burning it down. So you know we're gonna burn it down slowly. Yeah, that's what I used to do. I would burn it down slowly. Because it's just one day. It's just one day. But for most people, it just takes one day to burn it all down. If you burn it down slowly on one day, that's much better because next week you still gotta start again. Fresh mentality. With the same account. It's gonna happen. The reason I'm saying it's gonna happen. It's a rite of passage, right? Like, I don't expect ever anybody to come into trading and I'm gonna tell you to be super disciplined and to do this and do that. I wouldn't expect you to do it right off the bat. you will definitely have to go through the understanding of what it means to kind of like self-sabotage. You have to get the feeling of self-sabotage. If you don't get the feeling, then it's always going to be something that's lurking. It's always going to be lurking to happen eventually. So it's better it happens sooner anyway. Just to get it out. You know, most of the time, people just need to get it out. Like in trading, what I've realized, most of the time, people are not profitable because a lot of the time, it's like people come to you with their problems and they know they're not profitable. They already know why they're messing up. It's just like they just need to get it out. You know, like just really just get it out. Get it out of your system because you're going to get tired of that, of being stuck in the same loop over and over and over again. But once you fully get it out, trust me, you're not going to want to go back again. Like once you get a taste of being disciplined and what that really means when you start running it as a proper business, you're not going to want to go back again. But yeah, I mean, like for some of you who are still in that stage, you know, just get it out now. But I would recommend to reduce the risk at least. Because everybody going to pay a tuition fees. You're going to pay a less tuition fees. Just get it out until you're tired of your own bullshit. Because when you're done, you're done. Like, one thing like my friends always say about me as well is usually when I'm maybe I'm not in a good mood or something, then I say something like I'm over it. Usually, like my close buddies, they're gonna know that I'm over it. Like once I say I'm over it, I'm over it. So I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to debate about it. Like if I'm over it, I'm over it. So you just need to get over it. Because you know that's a point in time people's lives change. Yeah, you see that? Even like some people, let's say if they're tired of dating women who are destroying them emotionally, one day they're gonna wake up and say I'm over it. And then they're gonna, you know, their life trajectory changes completely. They're not gonna go back. But you just have to get to that point where you're completely tired, like completely exhausted of that result that you keep getting from what you keep doing. And you're never going to go back. But you got to get it out sometimes. Yeah, so let's wait. Let's wait. I would still want to see like price break above this region here. It's still quite a lucrative move for it to break above 51.82. 51.82, then it'll go up. Then you're gonna have a higher chance that it's gonna go up. I know it's a crappy market condition, but I still want to trade it. I still feel like I can get stuck into a move which will play out, because if it plays out, it's gonna play out really good. Considering that the market is also quite choppy overall, if I just get stuck into a move that's playing out, it's gonna play out. Because you know, from the moment you get into that trade, it's either gonna really play out or okay, so in a situation like this, I'm anticipating that it's either gonna really play out or just not play out at all. Given how much shock activity that there is. You know, with like shock activity, what shocks do, they're gonna wipe people out first, and then when it plays out, it really plays out. Correct? Like you've all seen it before. You've seen these times where you take a trade and it stops you out, and then when that trade actually plays out in your direction, it really plays out, correct? So sometimes these people get wiped out even before the main entry confirmations. And then when you get stuck in and it starts working out, you're going to see it's working out there quite nicely. So that's the caveat to trading consolidating market like this. It's not all bad. There's always going to be light and darkness. You're going to have like light to have dark. You're going to have dark to have light, etc. It's not all bad. So that's the only one edge that I've seen over the years that comes to trading goat shit like this. Of course, the cons outweigh the pros, because it's almost kind of like a 50-50, right? Like, sure, you're still executing on your probability. That should be a higher probability trade, but the context of the market is more of like a 50-50 concept with a really good chance of paying out. It's like one way of looking at it. And I think that's what it's doing right now because it just took out these lows. This would be much nicer on the next candle open, the next hourly open, because it's at 5 a.m. Eastern hourly candlestick. You can see the previous 2 hours were just kind of hovering around here. Four-hour candle closing. Yeah, very good. I think we gotta go on Owanda to see it. Yeah, I got a new 4-hour open as well. So I think the reason also the buys were struggling probably because of that 4-hour. Because the 4-hour candle was bearish. So it's a lot of weight for that 4-hour to pull back up. But if you get a fresh 4-hour candle, I think we just got one on some brokers over there. It lightens the load to the upside. Just the same way as an hourly candle would. See, if you got hourly more in your favor, it's a lot better. Breaking down, chat seems to think that this is about to sell. Nasdaq sell. Let's see. Yeah, Nasdaq looks like rejected above the highs over there. 30-minute closed. No, didn't even close. Yeah, closed above resistance, but couldn't continue pushing up beyond the wicks of the candle closure. No entries on the 1 minute there. No TFX entries at least. 5 minute as well. Nothing too clean towards the downside. It feels more of a release than anything, than some kind of an entry confirmation. It just feels like a release. Because I'm seeing it had multiple support levels here. No real structure to say that this was a good probability sell. Unless you were just expecting fake outs, you know, like there's a certain group of these traders. Most of the time, they're more of these ICT guys who have this kind of a mentality that they're gonna be smarter than everybody else, you know. So they're gonna look at people who trade trend lines as noobs, or like people who get into fake outs as you're my liquidity bro. Like they're like a frat house. ICT is like a frat house basically. So, you know, maybe you're gonna say like some liquidity grab here and all of these things, but man, like in reality, there was just no confirmations. Like there are just no solid confirmations to take a trade here. It's just a random move to the downside. In my opinion, there's no structure. It just broke the highs. Yeah, fine, it took out this high right over here, it took out that wick, and then it came down. But you know, you can't build a system around trying to outsmart everybody. You know, you can't always be looking to outsmart the market like this. So when we look at it objectively, even like on the 1 minute, there was literally no structure. It just shot above and then quick V-shaped reversal to the downside without any hold up. Maybe the only structure I can see is right here, which we got that head and shoulders consolidation breakout right over here. You got left shoulder, head, right shoulder, nice SMA confluence, and started breaking here. So it started breaking here, that confirmed the volume to the downside. So you'd actually have missed out on a lot of that to get at least something of substance that you can base your analysis that price can continue moving down bearish. So that's a variation of the trade setup that we usually take. This is one of those variations for anybody who's new to the channel. I'm like that. Just took Nas down, small scalp. Yo, yeah, let's see what happened here. Yeah, exactly. Order flow plus my trade. You see, at least you came down where there was some kind of a structure that was formed. Right over there. Like some kind of a point A. Now I feel if I cancel my buy stop, I miss a huge bull move later. I feel like the structure is shifting slightly. You would want to remove the buy stop and then remonitor how price comes back up here. Like put an alert instead. Because it could still play out, especially because on the 15, if this still flips back up, then it would just look like some grabs that happen below here to confirm the move. Because, you know, all this is still kind of like a point A. We just don't know like where the distribution is coming. We want it to come towards point B up here, but it could very well just dump. Right? But right now, it's still at a point A. It could just dump, but the sell-off is just not as clean. In my opinion. In my humblest of opinions. I know you used to trade GJ. How's it looking for buys from 210? You gotta send a chart into the Discord. Here. If I get a W pattern on the 1 minute, I will consider buys. Godspeed. Hopefully the W pattern is gonna give you a W trade. I used to know a guy who traded W pattern. His YouTube name was Stop Loss Matters. Don't know what happened to this guy. Let's see what happened to him, chat. He used to trade W patterns. Stop loss matters. Oh no, it was like stop loss. Oh, what did he say? Yeah, this guy over here. What's this guy's name? Stop loss matters. Did he remove his channel? I think he removed his channel. Man, I think it got to him. Oh, is this him? Who is this guy? No, that's not him. Somebody took his name. What happened to this guy? You see, chat? You see, chat? Trading, man, sometimes trading, the stress of trading can really get to you. This used to be his live streams, or did he change his name? The Thoughtful Lens. Did he change his name? You see he's on his channel here, and his channel says Stop Loss Matters on his channel analytics. But now he's changed his name. Oh, he changed his name now. You see? The Thoughtful Lens. Education's purpose is to replace an empty mind with an open one. Malcolm Forbes. It is the mark of an educated mind to be able to entertain a thought without accepting it. Very good. It was like 1 year ago. Yeah, last time I saw he was trading the W patterns. He's got the DVS journal over here. This video is pretty old though, it's like a year old. I used to watch him a lot. Like when I was still in 2020, when I was still learning how to trade, I saw his videos. See, it's a pretty old channel here, like 5 years. Oldest video. If he didn't delete any. But he used to be on Instagram. I used to follow him on Instagram a lot. This guy deleted his videos though. I think he had more videos than this. Then we got the OG Trader Nick. I think Trader Nick was the maybe like top seven mentors that I was kind of like trying to learn from over there. Trader Nick used to do this driveway, used to clean driveways, or something like that. Let's see, Trader Nick the GOAT. Yeah, it's pretty clean cut perspective on markets. He also says things like he understands the value. You know why I like it? Because he understands the value of a macros as well. Like how markets don't just move based off the technicals. Because really understanding that context part of trading is, you know, it can be everything. Morning Magic, do you think gold will, look at this chat said sell, and you see it's coming down over here. Do you think gold will be deja vu from last Friday 2000 pip move? Oh, that's a question, you know, because it's Freaky Friday, and on Freaky Friday we're always gonna expect some freaky moves. Usually that's why we called it Freaky Friday. This is something that started in the community that I was like back in 2020. We called it Freaky Friday because, man, on Fridays we would see very big moves happen at the end of the week. So that's kind of what I'm expecting here. That's why I'm still looking for, even though the conditions are not the greatest, I'm just looking for an opening that I can get stuck in, because I think, you know, I can end off the month pretty strong here. And if I don't end off the month strong, you know, no big deal. It's not a big deal. Nice little accumulation right here. It's trying to break from. A couple of them. It's like a scaling opportunity. But let me see from here. Yeah, it's like a scaling opportunity because the first stop loss would already be to break even in that situation, and the second one would have been already at 20 pips. But the question is, how did it break? No, the break wasn't clean though. Looks like there were a lot of pullbacks on the breaks before it moved down. See, that's the thing that makes it tricky. Whenever you're doing breakout trading, is like when price still moves in your direction, but you're having these types of pullbacks. That's why I'm saying you get a confirmation which doesn't give you that pullback. There's a much higher chance. You see, like this. Yeah, like even if you get a pullback, like a slight one, not a big one, but a slight one, there's a much bigger chance that it plays out. It's gonna play out beautifully. That's why I love accumulation breakouts. They got lots of volume in them, especially when they play out. When they play out, they're gonna play out a lot. So you go here on TFX signals, for example, you're gonna see on the screenshots of the previous trades that, you know, you're gonna kind of expect something like this, and then it just bleeds out. Correct? So something similar. Then like that, get a massive push, boom, boom, boom. I think this was the one that I made 4,784 on this one. You see, because when I got into the trade, over here, this candlestick, it just pushed towards that TP mark. Like it was coming up. I wanted to close like right here, and then it just pushed. It just pushed up like that. Yeah, I'm holding it. Retest this last Friday, top, then move up. Man, traders love steaks on my Instagram here. Traders really like to take pictures of steaks. Gotta eat that steak. Still a lot of sharks in the water even after this break, which was not clean on the 15. Yeah, man, I think anything, all that this is here is just gonna be noise. That price can make the real move later. Like, honestly, if it sells off, it's gonna be a violent sell-off because it needs to be violent to get through these guys. Right? That just doesn't make sense technically. A buy would make a lot more sense. Gold is grabbing liquidity for its move up. It's coming. Got it. Oh, I told you. Look at the 1 minute. Yeah, it's like drawing on the liquidity over here. You can see that big fat 5-minute rejection. Clean range as well. It's kind of mopped up the clean range on the 5. You know, guys, be careful. Freaky Friday. If you're gonna take a trade that ideally, the best case scenario is a trade which has faked out somebody. You know, like if you get like a liquidity spike of sorts, just to give you a bit more of an extra edge in terms of the direction, as especially in a region like this. But once it like breaks out from this region, like even if it starts trading within the range, in the middle of the range, it should be able to clean up a bit more. Have some cleaner moves to fill up that area. So that's kind of what I'm going to be looking at here. See what happens if once price starts to break above resistance, like 150 pip range. Happy Friday, everybody. Much love from New Zealand. What's up, Animal Bible? Welcome, welcome. Let's see. Wow. Goldie today is really gonna test your patience, huh? Really testing your patience here. You know, the thing is, I used to trade GJ because of worrying about stuff like this happening a lot. But we're not gonna include another instrument. At least I don't plan to until I fully see that gold is gonna stop moving. Because the best decision that I made last year was to fully focus on gold. Like that did wonders for my P&L at the end of the year. like since last year, April. That was the single decision that I made last year that really changed a lot. You know, so I don't think there's a need to go back to anything right now. Anything else. Still think Goldie's gonna have an amazing year this year. Like things like US 100, it's moving up. Like it's stuck in a accumulation though. Overall, it's shy of the ATH as well. But with the US dollar weakness, I'm not sure how this thing's gonna move up. This is that big stock market crash, like where Warren Buffett had gotten out before the big crash. It started ripping back up. That was like the only clean move that you caught over here today so far. Let's see. Let's zoom in. Why is TradingView glitching? Got like one bar on TradingView. Look at this. What is that? Poor signal. Poor signal means delays. Leave the woodland for flawless updates. Leave the woodland. How do we leave the woodland, TradingView? What is this? What is this nonsense over here? Look at this. Are we still live? We should be still live. I need to get my VPN out over here. See, I got the bear out. Gotta get the bear. Gotta wake him up. Wake up. Oh, damn it. What happened? Now I lost everything. Come on, wake up. Wake up, bear. Gotta put the VPN on. Oh, there he is. He's woken up. He has now woken up. Yeah, you see this cell? This cell over here? That was the only clean cell that we've had all morning. Was that sell idea that you had taken this morning here. This was the only clean one. Now what we're trying to do is we're trying to find a way that we're going to correct that sell. Because since that sell, price has just been moving down. It's just been distributing, and then we crashed into this range since that one sell off. So essentially you could be like objectively thinking about PA as that's been one move, and then the second move is coming right here, and all of this has just been a waiting period. I just got, what, 22k subscribers by sharing that call for 2 seconds. Lifestyle vlogs incoming, chat. Gonna be there like saying, what color is your Lamborghini? Huh? Where's your Lamborghini? Follow me for more. Have you ever thought of using Bookmap? No. I thought about it one time. The last time I thought about anything like that, I was fucking exhausted lying on the couch. and going through all these smart money concept things. And at the time, there was something like a book map I was looking at. I just remember that day, fully exhausted. This is like late afternoon hours. I was choosing between Bookmap or Radio Squawk, like getting some kind of a subscription, because you know sometimes when we're failing in trading, when we're not seeing the results that we want to see, that we feel like we need to buy these overcomplicated things. So I was looking at that, and I think I saw the price was like $1,000 or something, and I was like, no, I don't think I need this. You just gotta learn how to read candlesticks, rather. So that was the only time I can remember in my trading journey that I actually almost got into that whole bookmap thing. But you don't need it. What's bookmap gonna show you here that you can't see already with your EYES indicator? I don't think much. Because the price is consolidating. What are you gonna do? That's all she wrote. You're not gonna do anything. I think if I'm gonna use bookmap, I'll use it like this guy does. Just some kind of like a confluence more than anything else. Would just be nice to see. This guy is looking for a breakout there as well. Look at Riz over here. Riz is like, what the hell are these circles? Bro doesn't even know what's going on here. Riz just looking at this guy and nodding his head. It's like, okay. Got a circle here. One circle is bigger than the other circle. But you know, when gold behaves like this, it's going to be once it starts to move, just know it's going to be a very violent move to the upside once we get the strikes on Iran happen with all this accumulation here. You see, smart money is already keyed in. They're already in from what we spoke about. Remember last weekend how we said the Friday candlestick to pay attention to how that Friday candle was going to close. So you can see it close even above that resistance. You see, smart money is already keying in. They're already keying in because of the market makers. They have to get in early. So there's still a confidence in price to move up bullish, right? So they're already keyed in their positions. They're sitting here. Now they're just kind of like looking to see, and they're kind of moving slow. Yeah, moving slow. So I don't expect this Friday candlestick to behave like this one last week. I expect more or less like this Friday candle to sort of like hold within a general range. Like here. I don't think Trump is going to do anything over the weekend, to be honest. I think this is going to be like more next week stuff. So just be kind of cautious as we're approaching the new month as well. Until you see that we really start to move. You know what's going to give it away is if we start to move on the daily, right? We will break above here or break below here. Now we're going to start opening up a lot because this range is not that big. All right, this one we are like 900 pips. We're stuck in between that resistance and this support. Kind of like filled up the range down here, but there was nothing really to fill up. It was just like a wick. That's why I said like it coming down doesn't really do anybody any favors. Like if it's coming down like this, I might just call it a day if it comes down, or risk it for the biscuit. But you see, this is why I don't like the breakouts and the pullbacks. But let's see how much this broke. Maybe it took a sell over here. Okay, not bad, not bad. Just quick little 2% move. But yeah, that's kind of thing that's annoying, the pullback. So we're not getting the follow through. You see, when there's no clean range, that there's even a lesser probability that it's gonna follow through. Y'all play the new Resident Evil game? I was thinking about getting it. Anybody in the chat play yet? Kind of like watching a bit of gameplay of it right here. The Rad Brad. Looks nice. Looks smooth. Graphics look very clean. Very clean graphics over here. Resident Evil. Horror games are like the best genre of games. I love horror games. Horror games, is it going to be like Call of Duty, FIFA, GTA? We all grew up on those major three, or a good horror game. A very good AAA game here. Look at this. Look at this. Look at the scene where she's. Look at the scene over here. Oh man, like when I see blood, you always gotta feel weak when you're gonna see blood. Let's see anybody play it. Warzone. Yeah, I'm thinking about getting this. But let's see, what is gold doing? It's doing literally nothing. Come on, Goldie. Gold is still bullish. Bullish flag pattern. One more liquidity sweep on the downside before blasting up. Oh, man. Let's buy at the same time. Oh, yeah, buy gold. 1 hour candle will let us know what it wants to do. Vic, I'm just saying this because I'm looking at the higher time frame, but we'll see an NY session. Yeah, I could be waiting for pre NY candle. Anywhere between that next 6 a.m. candle, we should see a little bit more of like a follow through. It could just be trying to trap these sellers over here. It still looks like it broke below that support, and it's still within this general region. So this could be the trap down here once it starts pulling up there. That'll be the key zone for everybody to look at here today. Like on the 15-minute and above, once we get through those rejection wicks, we should be off to the races. Come on, like for a Freaky Friday move, if we get above here, I think we're going to have a pretty nice push. Because you always got to see like where the volume came in. You got volume came in here. So if we start to break above here, we're going to get the same reaction because the market loves to mirror itself. Bro, I really don't know what is that. Can you explain please in short about the circles? Yeah, the circles are just they show your balance between buyers and sellers apparently, and they're gonna show you when there's a big player in the market, for example. So if you're looking for a buy, you're gonna use that as a confluence. There's gonna show you, it's some smart money concept stuff. It's gonna show you, or rather it should show you where there's gonna be a big player in the market. I know, man. It's like it's all just like additional stuff to already understanding how to read price action. Because if you can't trade, like you can't read price, then that's gonna be useless to you. Like such things. See, the circles are orders. The larger the circle, the bigger the order. There you go. There you go. So now you're gonna go look for big circles. So if you got a big circle here, that means then you got a big whale in the market. That means Warren Buffett came in. So you know if Warren Buffett's in, then you also gotta be in. You take a buy. But you can't use that without knowing PA. You're already gonna start learning how to read candles, and once you start to learn how to read candles, you realize that you don't really need that. Like even the only confluences here we have are the SMAs, correct? But we don't really need the SMAs on the chart at the end of the day. Sometimes they do more harm than good because they can keep you out of winning trades based off of PA. The worst thing is to have a good setup and not take it because of an indicator, and then it plays out. Good. Let's do a quick analysis on US 30. Let's see, US 30. It dipped. US 30 dipped, so it's created itself an opportunity. It's a lot cleaner today than gold is. You have resistance right here. It's starting to break above. When it breaks above this area, just expect it to come and retest back towards the top of the range. Because right now US 30 is moving sideways, like simply put. See, we're just using our eyes. We're not going to overcomplicate it. Correct? It's not overcomplicated. Look at this. US 30 is just moving sideways. So what are we going to do? You're not going to overcomplicate it. It already came down towards support. So what's the probability it breaks above this resistance that we're going to retest these highs? I think it increases. You know, and if we break below these lows, there's a support over there. So we're going to zoom in. Break below these lows, there's a range of around 30 pips below support. So it's stuck in between these two areas. You know, on the 1 minute, you can see it's kind of accumulating a little bit. It's getting ready for its next move right now. Whether it's going to break above resistance to keep pushing up or break below support. And then all you got to do is wait for entry confirmation right over here. But it's currently at a point A. Because what you're going to see later is you're going to see either candlesticks moving up like this. Then that's going to be the distribution to the upside, which it should actually do that, rather to the upside than to the downside. Either one of those two scenarios are about to come out of this zone right here. It's an overpopulated shark aquarium. Yeah, that's it. That's why I'm looking at this and thinking, man, should I just call it a month over here? I don't know. No, no. Call it a month. But anyway, chat, I think I'm gonna head out here. Watch out for buys above this rejection zone. This is gonna be like 51.83. Once we get through that level, I think it should be pretty smooth sailing. So yeah, that's the only clean range that I can see. So watch out for this, and I will see you all next week. Adios, everybody. Take care. Enjoy your weekend.